watching the teardown of the NVIDIA RTX 3090 Founders Edition, presented by Vector Network. In the last episode, we did the unboxing of the GeForce RTX 3090 Founders Edition. Click on this link up here in the top right hand corner for the video. In this episode, we will begin with the teardown, then proceed to the cleaning, and end with the product showcase. Let's begin! The teardown begins by removing the main bracket. Pry on it and it comes right off. There are 4 small screw covers that can be removed with tape, but a magnet can also be used. The magnets that can be recovered from old hard disk drives are particularly strong and useful for this. Next, pry on the SLI cover and it comes right off. Earlier, removing the main bracket revealed 4 screws next to the front side exhaust fan. These screws have standard Phillips heads. Also earlier, removing the small screw covers revealed 4 Torx screws. These are T6. Lift up and there is the PCB. Next, there is a fan cable. Unlatch first, then pull up. There are 2 ribbon cables. Pull down. Feel free to unlatch first. For the GPU, these are T8 Torx screws. A crisscross pattern can be used to alleviate pressure and tension more evenly. For the I/O bracket, these are also T8 Torx screws. With all those off and the bracket, the only thing keeping the PCB attached to the cooler shroud are the thermal paste and pads. Feel free to lift. After lifting up, there is the PCB, much smaller without its cooler shroud. Some of the thermal pads are left on the shroud while others are stuck on the PCB. So it's time to clean. The cleaning begins with the removal of any remaining thermal pads and thermal paste residue. These pads fall apart rather easily when they are touched. Once the pads and big pieces are off, isopropyl alcohol is applied with Q-tips to soften and remove any remaining residue. A plastic poker can also be used to poke and scrape away the residue. Stay tuned for the next section, the product showcase, where we will highlight the notable components of the PCB, including the processor, VRAM, memory VRM, capacitors, and voltage controllers, coming up right now. Now that the cleaning is done, we can get a good look at the RTX 3090's PCB. This particle circuit board has a cutout that was made by a precision back drill. This cutout is what allows for the front fan to exhaust its airflow. Although compact, the 3090 is equipped with NVIDIA's flagship GPU processor built on the 8nm node. The GA102 graphics processor is a large chip with more than 28 billion transistors. Using the GA102-300-1A variant, the 3090 has nearly 10,500 shading units. The processor also has 82 ray tracing acceleration cores and 328 tensor cores, which help improve the speed of machine learning applications. The GPU is operating at a base clock of nearly 1400 MHz, which can be boosted up to nearly 1700 MHz. The memory is running at above 1200 MHz. A defining feature of the 3090 is its 24GB of GDDR6X VRAM, video random access memory using a 384-bit memory interface connection. There are 12 1GB memory chips on each side for a total of 24GB. Next to the VRAM is the memory VRM, the voltage regulator modules. Keep in mind that the card draws power from its single 12-pin power connector, with the power draw rated at a maximum of 350 watts. The display outputs include 1 HDMI 2.1 port and 3 DisplayPort 1.48 ports. Flipping the card on its back, we can see the previously mentioned other 12GB of VRAM. Like the memory modules in the front, these will get very hot under load and requires adequate cooling. In the next episode, we will be installing a water block with a backplate on this 3090, so we can cool this card with a custom liquid loop. Next to the VRAM on the back are the capacitors. These are high density and low profile capacitors that effectively support voltage regulation. Further near the cutout are two voltage controllers, both of which are fully digital controllers in charge of handling the memory VRM. The GeForce RTX 3090 is connected to the rest of the system using a PCI Express 4.0 by 16 interface. Tune in next time for episode 3 featuring the unboxing and installation of a Corsair water block onto a 3090 and then into a liquid cooled system. Like the video by clicking the like button. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is the Vector Network. Please click on the bell for a notification when the next episode airs. Click on the links here for more videos, including one dedicated to the studio that produces this content. Thank you, and I'll see you at the next episode.